Someone tells you, I would like to teach in an international school, but I do not know how the curriculum looks like. And I'm always thinking, Google is your friend.
Me, the law degree, you're going to study for 4 years. So if you don't do it right now, after 4 years, I'm going to come back to Light Academy. I'll find you here and you have nothing. So you just better enroll. After 4 years, you have something to show. I think looking back, I can say that the perseverance has really paid off.
Hello, today we talk about international school teaching. What are the challenges? What are the benefits? And we are joined by a very inspirational guest. I am going to allow him to introduce himself right after this. Welcome to Teachers Hub podcast, where we tell inspiring teacher stories and push teachers to be better versions of themselves. So I will allow my guest to introduce himself. And because he's a Swahili teacher, I think it's fair that we allow him to introduce himself in Swahili. Karibu sana.
Asante, nashukuru kwa kunipa mwaliko kuja hapa. Jina langu ni Jasper Undimu. Mimi ni mwalimu wa Kiswahili, jinsi ambavyo umesema, Kiswahili pamoja na historia, na pia ni mwanafunzi mwanagenzi wa sheria. Kwa hivyo nashukuru umenipa mwaliko wa kufika huku, jinsi ambavyo umesema, angalau kuwamotisha watazamaji wetu.
Oh,
Naam.
Swahili is so interesting. I wish I could be able to keep up with Swahili.
Yeah.
But sorry, yeah. So to start us off, Jasper, I would just, even before you take us through your teacher story, I would like us to begin from, I know you're a very passionate educationist. What's one thing you think is going right in the education system right now?
I think one thing that is going right in the education system is us as a country achieving gender parity as far as education is concerned, because in the past you had the girl child left behind in the education world, but at least now we have women who are in the corporate world, different sectors of the economy. They are taking over careers that were predominantly masculine careers. So for me, that is a good thing. I know there's quite a lot that is not going the right way, but at least for gender parity, I think we've done something about it.
Yeah, good. Could we just pick one about what is not going right that you would like to address in this podcast?
For example, our schools, especially the public schools, are not well resourced. Quite a number of parents cannot afford the education of their children. We do have students in universities who cannot afford to pay fees. We have the new funding model. We have learners who cannot access the funds because the government has not remitted enough funds. When I look at education as an equalizer, education as a tool that enables one to conquer the world, and here you have people who cannot afford to achieve that particular tool, for me, it is really saddening. So I wish, like during our time in the past, when you could go to the university and the government pays for you. So I feel that quite a number of our young people are deprived of their bright future. Yes.
Yeah. Now, I would like us to start right from where it began, Jasper. Your teacher story. What's your teacher story? Like, where did you begin? Yeah.
Myself, I was born and bred in Kisii. I finished my high school in 2010. Then I joined the University of Nairobi, where I pursued Bachelor of Education, Kiswahili and History. Graduated in 2014. Then during that time, I remember from 2013, I used to do teaching practice at a school called Sitam Buruburu there. That's where I used to teach. After my teaching practice, the principal was there, Mr. Utundo. I don't know if you know him. Nowadays, I'm told he's a professor at Riara University, the international school. So he was my principal then. So after my teaching practice, he called me and told me, he used to say, Mwalimu, Mwalimu, I can see your work is good. Now, since you're doing evening classes, can you just be hanging around? Then evening you go to class. I know I might not pay you good salary, but you can just hold on to it as you graduate. So come the end of 2014, so Mr. Tundo tells me, Mwalimu, now I'm leaving. Yes, you've been here and I can't really give you employment. You can just get somewhere and work. So I really wondered where was I going to start from. But I remember that I used to stay in my uncle's place.
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle was even currently is working with the Ministry of Finance. So he used to come with newspapers every evening, Daily Nation.
Yeah.
So the moment he comes with a newspaper, I used to go to the back pages. I know where the jobs were being advertised, especially educational jobs, every day. So I used to look at the contacts, apply. So I remember there is this school called Tungoni. It is in at the river. They had advertised they needed a Kiswahili and CRE teacher. But now my combination is Kiswahili and history. But because I felt the pressure, I needed this job,
Yeah.
I said, let me just try it out. So I sent my application. Luckily, I was shortlisted, invited for interview. And then after the interview, the secretary called me and told me, yes, you did interview here, but now because of your combination, we cannot be able to offer you employment. But around 2 weeks after that, again, I was called. But you see, the director says you just come and see her. So I went there. I found the director, Mrs. Mbui. So she told me that, yes, we needed a Kiswahili CRE teacher, but in our analysis, we found that you're a good teacher. Yeah, so just come and teach Kiswahili history, but we can give you some CRE lessons. If you don't mind, you can teach, then we can give you a job.
Yeah.
I couldn't refuse.
Yeah.
So I started working there. Then I remember after that, I did an interview, one of the school called Wami Academy in South Sea.
I know Wami.
Yeah. So there's the boy side and the girl side. So I was teaching in the girl side. And then after that, I did interview at Light Academy. I was appointed as a teacher, Kiswahili history at Light Academy. And then I desired to teach in an international school. I did interview at St. Mary's School, where I was shortlisted and also taken as a teacher. Joining St. Mary's School, I was assigned 844 classes, IGCSE classes, as well as IB classes. Initially, it was really quite tough, especially transitioning from 844, and you have two international curriculum, you're green about it. But I really thank the boss, the head of department, then they really supported me. And to some extent, also learned, I learned the hard way.
Interesting. Like you currently teach 3 curriculums. Do you? Or
Over
at that
time, they have now domiciled. So right now, I teach only IB.
Great.
Yes.
Interesting. That's really interesting. Now, you've mentioned Swahili and mentioned international school teaching.
Yes.
Now, most of the teachers that really reach out and that try to seek opportunities, especially teachers of your combination, tend to think that Swahili is not a subject that is learnt in international schools. And
Yes.
sometimes they feel like they're so at an they're so at a disadvantage.
Yes.
Having studied Swahili because they feel there's no place for it in the international curriculum. So tell us about it. How is Swahili as a subject in the international curriculum?
There is Swahili in Cambridge curriculum, IGCSE. There is Swahili even in IB. There are quite a number of opportunities. So I don't think there's a reason why someone watching this particular podcast, being a teacher of Kiswahili and any other combination, should get scared. The opportunities are there. But I also think quite a number of people are scared of the international schools. Firstly, some of them believe that they cannot easily get these opportunities. It's difficult to get into an international school. And I've got a number of some of my friends who reach out to me and tell me, Jasper, I need a job. I know in Nairobi it's not very easy to get a job. I'm willing even to part with 20,000 to get a job. And I'm like, I mean, why should you give out money? And some people, I know even you, Juliet, they look at where you've come, where you are right now. They think that you've offered money somewhere. I usually tell my friends that an employer who takes a bribe to employ you, that's one of the worst employers. And that really doesn't happen in international schools, unless it is a fake international school. That one they can consider kickbacks. But in serious international school, they look at merit. So there are so many opportunities in the international schools, including even writing books. I've written a Swahili book known as Cambridge IGCSE Swahili. I think it is the first book that most learners are using in schools, including teachers. That is an opportunity. We don't have many books, Swahili books in the Cambridge curriculum. So you don't have to be a Cambridge teacher for you to have a contribution. So there are so many opportunities. I think it is for us to open our minds and see the opportunities and not get scared. People teaching international system are not really out of this world.
It's kawaida teachers.
Yeah, it's kawaida. It's kawaida teachers. Because a person like me, I remember I was teaching at Light Academy 844 side, but I took that step of faith. I said, let me apply let me apply to an international school. That time I didn't have any experience. But then now the people were interviewing me, they saw the passion, and that is how I got into it and learned on the job, pole pole.
Yeah, great. And just to add on what you're saying about Swahili, in fact, in the international schools, if I'm not wrong, year 7, year 8, year 9, most schools have Swahili as a compulsory subject, right?
Yes.
It is a requirement that they learn Swahili.
Yes.
Yeah, so teachers really, Swahili teachers feeling left out and feeling like they can't get a space there. That's really a misconception.
Yes.
So what are some of the things you feel you did to land yourself a job in the international schools
I think, the first thing is the desire. You must have that desire, because we say that when you have a desire, then the universe will conspire for you to achieve whatever that you want. Yes. So I really had that desire of teaching in an international setup, because also that time the government was also rolling out CBC. And I remember some of my friends, some of them are not here, they are working abroad. So they used to tell me, Jasper, CBC mimi itanipata hapa. So we psyched up ourselves and said, let us look for an opportunity in these international schools. So there was that particular desire to understand. And then number two, at least I had an idea. As much as I had not taught history in IGCSE, not taught Kiswahili, I went and downloaded the syllabus. I looked at it, I understood it. And then I really consulted a lot, especially from teachers who are teaching in the international system. I asked them, now this history, there is this paper 1, paper 2, what is the difference? What is the weighting of these papers? I really did a lot as far as consulting them is concerned. So I think I had that desire. And then also I made steps to ensure that I actualize those desires.
Yeah, and that you didn't have the excuse of not knowing the curricula, which I feel is really the problem that most teachers have. Someone tells you, I would like to teach in an international school, but I do not know how the curriculum looks like. And I'm always thinking, Google is your friend. In fact, you go to Google, like myself, if you teach English and literature, you just go to Google and say Cambridge syllabus. It's going to bring that.
And you get it, yeah. Even some of the topics that maybe someone does not understand, you just go to YouTube and you type that topic, and you find a lot of teachers who are teaching online those topics. So there's no excuse.
You're right.
Yeah.
No excuse.
Mm.
Yeah. What are some of the challenges you have experienced? You're talking about transitioning from 844
Mhm.
and now to the international school
Yes.
teaching space. What are
Yes.
some of the challenges that you have faced?
Okay. Getting into the international system, of course, I had really good support system, especially considering that I got into it and handling 3 curriculums. And at some point, I had candidates in all the 3 curriculums. So it's something that we shared with the administration, and they really understood us and they did something about it. So there was that really burnout. I mean, preparing 3 candidates, you find you're not even effective as a teacher. But then we did our best. And then as you get into it, there's that uncertainty, even when you are handling that subject in class.
Yeah.
Maybe it is how a particular concept is marked. For example, a learner will ask you how a particular concept is marked in IB. And that time you've not interacted quite a lot with
With the
the
syllabus.
curriculum. So there's that kind of uncertainty. I know it is also an opportunity to sharpen you, to go and inquire quite a lot about it. That time also, I was doing a lot of trainings. I think I'm privileged, or we are privileged. Our employer caters 100% for the training, IB, IGCSE. So sometimes you have classes ongoing, you have these trainings ongoing. I mean, it was quite a lot. It was a season of hard work, perseverance, which I think has paid off.
Great. You
Yes.
didn't feel like the pressure was suffocating?
Yeah, the pressure was quite a lot, and sometimes you feel like you are on autopilot.
Yeah.
But then you're like, this thing is going to pay eventually. So I think looking back, I can say that the perseverance has really paid off, because
Great.
now I'm more equipped. I feel more confident to handle my learners.
Yeah.
I feel more sharp in terms of the concepts. It has improved my teaching. So I really have no regrets. And sometimes you have to stretch yourself, because I look back and say, maybe what would I be doing that time? Maybe sleeping, sleeping at home, or just making stories with friends. But at least now I have something I can look back and say, thank you, God. Yeah.
And what would you say are the benefits you have reaped so far from that decision? that you
Quite a
took?
lot, because now the perspective has changed in terms of how you look at education. For example, when you're exposed to IB, looking at even the IB learner profile itself, you look at the philosophical founding of IB. These are great concepts which can also help me as a person, even as I teach other learners, not necessarily learners who take IB. I can be able to borrow some of the concepts and integrate them in my teaching of other curriculums, be it IGCSE or even 844. So that change of mindset, we came from 844 where competition was the order of the day. But once you get to the international system and you realize that they're looking at competencies of the learner that you're churning out. So there is that change of perspective. Then also there is international mindedness, especially for me as a history teacher. Now I no longer teach Kenyan history, Mzee Jomo Kenyatta. So I have to teach now Chinese history, Russian history. I have to teach about Adolf Hitler, Stalin, those people. So there's that international mindedness concepts which I get. So it's quite a lot.
A lot of benefits.
Yes.
Great. I like it that you've mentioned, like the competition aspect is not there. I feel that's really the best thing that can happen to a learner.
Yes.
Because I always remember our experience in school. You remember how there was the aspect of top 10 and bottom 10. There was the thing of a teacher organizing papers in terms of the order. So every time you're receiving an examination, result, you're always scared that you don't come last. There was a lot of shame, a lot of, very, very unnecessary competition and very unhealthy
there's a lot of
competition.
stigmatization, a loss of self-esteem, because once you're embarrassed in front of the rest of the learners in class, it leads to low self-esteem of the learners. So
Yeah.
I think that's really a good concept, and the understanding that people are endowed in different ways.
Yeah.
So appreciating that fact and allowing learners to grow with that in mind is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is. It's really a good thing.
Yes.
Now, this teacher now transitioned to, I mean, you went to law school
Yes.
and studied law. What was your motivation to go back to school and
Yeah,
study law?
that's a very good question. I remember around 2018, while I was teaching at Light Academy. So we had this academic clinic where we invite parents to come and see the performance of their learners,
Oh, the PTCs.
the children, yeah, the PTCs. So I remember coming across Dunstan Omari is a
The lawyer,
proficient
yeah.
lawyer. So I went and approached him. I told him that I have a desire of doing a bachelor's degree in law. What would be your advice? And you know, Dunstan Omari speaks with a lot of gusto and a lot of compellingness. So he asked me, now, young man, how old are you? So I told him my age at that particular point. Then he told me something that really touched me and I've never forgotten up to now. He told me, you know, the law degree, you're going to study for 4 years. So if you don't do it right now, after 4 years, I'm going to come back to Light Academy. I'll find you here and you have nothing. So you just better enroll. After 4 years, you have something to show. And then he gave me his contacts and really encouraged me and told me pursue this particular degree. During that particular time, of course, he had already become prominent, and looking at the fact that he was a teacher was also a motivating factor.
Oh, his story is that he was a teacher before.
Yeah, he was a high school teacher before he started to pursue a law degree. Even before that, I remember watching TV stations during that time. I mean, quite a lot was being aired live. Judges interview,
Yeah.
a bit court proceedings. I remember presidential election being aired live. I developed interest of following closely different lawyers, quite a number of them. Even if you ask me who really motivated me to pursue law, I can mention quite a lot because I pick a lot of skills from different lawyer. But on top of my mind, there were people like Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi, people like the late Firoz Norji, Willy Mutunga, Kiage, who is a court of appeal. And I remember even that time, even being a teacher of history, I read a lot of judgments. That time I had not even started to pursue law, but I used to be intrigued by reading cases and seeing how a judge reached at a particular conclusion. And then most importantly, I don't know if you remember on KTN News, there used to be a program called Case Files.
Case Files, yes, I do.
Yeah, by Dennis Onsarigo. So Dennis could bring the facts of the case and then conclude by telling us what was the judgment of the court. So some judgments, I found them quite intriguing. And I said, let me get into this particular field. And also by the fact that myself, I'm a sapiosexual, I'm really attracted to intelligent conversations. So I think for me, law was that particular arena that could make me now be more alive. So I said, let me get into it. I enrolled myself. So I'll be finishing my studies in August and inshallah graduate December before I proceed to Kenya School of Law for advocates training program.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Indeed, 4 years is a short time.
It's a short time. It's like yesterday. And back in my mind, I remember the words of Dunstan Omari that after 4 years, I'll just come to Light Academy and find that you have nothing.
Yeah.
So you better pursue it. After 4 years, you have something, and that's why I can even challenge you or even our viewer. After 2 years down the line, after 1 year down the line, what will you be having to show?
Yeah.
Is it that training? Is it that new experience that you need? So I think that really helped me quite a lot.
What do you
Yes.
plan to do with your law degree?
Yeah, I'd like to pursue law in terms of I'd like to practice law. There's quite a lot about law. You know, people think law is about going to court and shouting there, but there's quite a lot that people do. But that is that's one bit of it. I mean, representing people, especially those who are the weak in society. Even looking at the education field, you have quite a number of teachers who work without contracts.
Yeah.
You have a number of teachers who are dismissed from work without
Unfairly,
following due process. So I think for me to also to work to ensure that those people get justice. It could even be the weak in society from where we come from. I mean, you've seen violations of human rights. So it's an opportunity for me to take it over and also help their generation and even myself, because it is part of growth, part of growth. Yeah.
Is there a way you think, your law experience so far has contributed to your teaching interactions with your students?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Lawyers are critical thinkers. And especially in my subject, I teach Swahili and history. It needs a lot of critical thinking. Even the view of politics. How do you view politics? Even some of the regulations that we have in our country, be it the Children's Act, the Basic Education Act, the Teacher Service Commission Act. So I can understand from that point of view the intentions of the drafters. What was the intention of that? So looking at the law perspective, even reading, as a lawyer, you need to read a lot. That's why they call themselves learned friends.
Yeah.
So you read quite a lot of material. And being a teacher, you need to keep yourself abreast of what is happening. Read even things that do not concern education. Read large books. So that culture of reading has now been ingrained in me, because I mean, as a lawyer, you need to read a lot, otherwise you're going to lose all your cases.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing that has happened to me. And then there is an aspect of elegance, because lawyers will express themselves elegantly. They will dress elegantly. They'll do everything elegantly. So I think that is a virtue that I can say I have taken from the law profession.
Yeah, and your students are able to emulate that.
Yes. By the way, and once I tell my students, apart from being a teacher, I'm also pursuing a law and I'll be graduating soon. They get amazed, and that makes them work hard. And it is also a lesson for the students that, teachers, it's not a must that they're going to teach you all through and then they have no any other options. It's a motivation for them that you can still be a teacher and be another or pursue another career.
Yeah, good. That you can keep reinventing yourself.
Absolutely.
You can keep reinventing yourself.
Yes.
So the next question is really related to your story, Jasper, which is really inspiring.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to teachers who would like to transition into international school teaching, or just transition into something else they're interested in, not necessarily international school teaching? Because usually the challenge I see with most teachers is that aspect of complacency. People just get too comfortable. And before you notice it, the 4 years, 5 years are gone. So what advice would you give a teacher who is sitting on an idea or who is sitting on a plan? What should they do?
I'll tell them to have the power of dreams. And talking about this, I remember my colleague I worked with at St. Mary's School. She was known as Patricia. I know at some point she'll be watching this broadcast. So Patricia told me, Jasper, I'll not continue to work at Saints forever.
Yeah.
But my plan is to go to Dubai, to go and work in Dubai. And she really sent a lot of applications. So she got a job in Dubai.
The same place she wanted to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Then later on, she told me, Jasper, we are going to meet in the United States of America. And she really worked hard. And right now she's in the United States of America. I think she demonstrates the story of resilience. So people should have a vision, because without a vision, then you cannot be able to work towards it. So those teachers who are watching, number one, they should not get scared.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we perceive these international schools as a preserve of some people, which is not. If you have a dream, then you can eventually work towards that particular dream. Then number two, they should be able to send applications to different international schools, be it on email. They don't have to wait for the school to advertise, you know. Sometimes a school doesn't have time to advertise. So they'll go to their email and see the applications which have been sent. So they should not wait for a school to advertise. You just go to the internet. For example, if you go to St. Mary's website, you'll be able to get the email, then send that a particular application. Sometimes you can even walk into the school and request for interview with the principal. You know, sometimes I think it is in the Bible where it says that people are not going to be given just for free.
Yeah.
I know sometimes
Have
they
to
can be
work.
sent away by the watchman. Do you have an appointment? Those kind of questions. But I
Yeah.
think life has a way of rewarding those who are diligent, those who are persistent. So let us not be too conventional that you just graduate and wait for employment with the Teacher Service Commission and all that.
And then work for 40 years.
Work for 40 years and then get retirement benefits. I think let us dream beyond where we just are. Let us dream yonder. Even internationally, I mean, keep applying for these particular jobs. We know different sites online talk about tests, a bit such associate, teacher horizons. Let us make an effort. Success does not go to those who do not do anything about it. And as we said that the universe has a way of conspiring to meet our desires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you say? I always get this kind of comment from many teachers. People, for example, are stuck at, I did not choose to be a teacher. I did not choose to be a teacher. I don't want to be here. And the feeling they always feel is that of being stuck. What would you tell such a teacher?
I might not have kind words for those kind of people, because sometimes it is all about fate. And it is good to take an opportunity once you have it. Myself, personally, I really didn't want to be a teacher. It wasn't my first choice profession. But I remember my parents, mom and dad.
What was your first?
I wanted to be a journalist.
Oh.
Yeah, but then when I finished school, got the results, my dad couldn't hear anything to do with that. In fact, he told me that you just sit here, I'm not going to pay fees for you. So he really wanted me to pursue education. So I didn't sulk. I went into it. I embraced it. And looking back, courtesy of education, I've been able to travel the world. Probably that's something I could not have done with my career in law. Sometimes it is all about fate.
Yeah.
We work according to God's pattern. I remember Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi being interviewed, the prominent lawyer.
Yeah.
And he was asked, how did you just become a lawyer? He said, according to him, he really didn't want to be a lawyer. He had applied for a particular course, but the teacher then told him that you can make a good lawyer. So the teacher deleted the choice he had taken. And then the teacher wrote law. And that is how he began to study law. Right now, he's a prolific lawyer.
Yeah.
So if you're in a particular space, I believe it is for a purpose. No one should sulk. Do not have regrets. Get into it, conquer it, and you can do what you want. For example, if I've been a teacher, but right now I'm transitioning into being a lawyer. So you can always achieve what you want as long as you have the passion.
Yeah, and as long as you accept where you are at.
Yeah, accept where you are, because if you keep on crying where you are, then you're not going to make good out of your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jasper. So as we wrap up, how should we connect with you? How can we connect with you?
Yeah, I'm available in all social media networks, LinkedIn, Just Paundimu, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I go by the name Just Paundimu. Yeah.
I particularly follow you on
Thanks a lot.
LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like what you post on LinkedIn. You're doing a good job. And as I told you, the backstory I told you, you're really motivating teachers. They call your name out.
Yeah, I didn't know about
spaces.
that. Yeah.
So please keep doing what you're doing. You never know. It's really touching someone somewhere. And your story is really inspirational. I really appreciate you coming and sharing it with us.
Many thanks.
Yeah, many thanks. We really appreciate. Thank you so much.
Karibu sana.